X mo muna.
Saan?
Ito.
Pero mamamatay yung live stream.
Orientation yata is...
This one?
Ito ba, This one. That's back.
It's back.
Orientation is... Pag, i-off mo muna. Chat settings.
Chat settings, no.
So, tatayo mo yan.
Magsisiksikan tayo kung nakatayo.
Oh, true.
Wait. No, it's not right. Maybe.
Asan yung chat settings? How did you find it earlier?
Wait.
The live stream stuff.
Are you sure you want to stop the streaming?
Okay.
It's not that.
Asan yung... kayo na?
Messages, oh dear. How? Di kaya ba?
Asan yun? Di ba kayo na may setting siya? Parang...
Damn. Okay, wait.
Okay, go. Gusto niya talaga patayo. Okay. Technical difficulty.
Guys, sorry, difficulties tayo. Ayaw mag-lock, no?
Ilayo natin gusto mong konti.
Wait.
Hindi kasi nakapatong sa mesa. Wait. Hang on. Wait. Yan, mas stable na siya. At saka ibaba natin yung paa ba? Oo, kasi yung isa hindi sumasayan. Yan, the tripod.
Wait, let me just,
Ano? Sige lang po, go. Live kami ngayon, so... Well...
How about that? Ganyan.
Fix na natin to. Ilayin natin. Further. Wala naman tatama dyan, wala namang mababangga. Correct.
Kasi the problem with, the problem with the live stream na nakahiga versus the live stream na nakatayo.
Ayan. Medyo harsh lang ang lighting natin, so let's be harsh. Charas.
Okay, so...
Agree kayo, number one hits pick. Ang dami ng tanong. Well, before everything else, yan, magandang gabi po. Welcome to Sashes&Scripts, yes.
So, sorry about what do you call this?
Technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty.
But as queens, let us introduce ourselves. Hindi, syempre, nagbabalik ating mahiwagang Mickey Motorcam because it's the Miss Universe season. So today, I'll be channeling Amelia Vega from Dominican Republic.
Channeling of Sana Federal ba? Since may issue tayo with dethronement, ganyan. So,
Ay, wow!
nabasin na natin.
Sino dinethrone? Ay, hindi, may mga pinauwi. Mga pinauwi. So,
may mga candidates that because of health AI na nagpamalaglag.
Hindi, babayan natin.
Babayan na natin.
Dito na lang siya sa gitna.
Kasi because of health issues, hindi na tumuloy with the Miss Universe.
Yes. Health issue nga ba?
Yun na nga. Health issue na.
Pero, I mean, whatever that may be, but I think there's a consensus right now that Miss Universe 2024 is one of the worst editions ever, and we say that with a batting and eyelash. And today we'll be talking about the crown, the stage, the girls, and everything that happened
during the preliminaries.
Yes, and what would be the future implication ng ganito kagulo pageant staging? No, I think let's be fair. We came from Miss Earth, which draw a lot of flack, but we give them time to reprocess, and I think they're in the process of fixing. Pero the thing between these two big pageants is that the other does not claim to be the best one, the biggest one, or the most powerful one versus the other that set the standard. That's why we are here to really dig in and focus on what happened, particularly yesterday's preliminaries.
Okay, so here's how are we gonna break it down?
Yes.
Mark will start off with the production. Everything that has to be said about the production we're going to discuss, and then I'm going to drill in with the format, and I am going to analyze why is this format there.
Yes.
Right? And then we're going to talk about the crown first before all of that. Dahil I think the crown is the redeeming
Factor. Siya yung
of this
saving
edition.
grace of this edition. I think this is the only thing that makes this pageant very beautiful because Jewelmer created a jewel this year. Yeah.
So what do you think of the...
So the production, let's go first. You know what? We are in the season of pageantry where wala na tayong patawad. We do not forgive any missteps, especially for platforms that are so huge to have developed such a high following and set the standards for many, many years. And Miss Universe, particularly in the Trump era, had ushered in the definition of what gloss is about, of staging is about, and about giving. Then the stage is not just a stage to step on it. That represents a platform that allows you to shine and present yourself for who you are. And I think for this year, they failed it on so many levels. First, there was a claim that this will be the biggest edition ever. What happened? I didn't like the infinity shape of the stage. This gives me 2014.
It gives me Cosmo International.
Cosmo International. I mean, the fact that it reminds you of another pageant, it doesn't define an identity, that's a fail to me. Second, yung dilim, no? The darkness of the stage in itself. I don't like how dark it is, especially that we have a pageant that's been consistent about showing the best production out there. You know what that is. MGI has been very good at it. MU has no excuses, and you are holding it in Arena CDMX, which is one of the biggest and venues in Mexico, and you expect it to be light friendly because of all the high-tech equipment that's in there. This built-in lighting. If they add more to it, I understand, but it's something that you could process, but it's something that correct, hindi kayo magkaaway dito. Charot. So yun. So ang daming pwedeng i-improve. I understand a runway could have allowed more girls, and given that the stage in itself, more than the stage, the blocking is also an issue. And why do we not give women enough time to present themselves, show themselves how they walk their pasarela, especially in the evening gown part, which to me is a huge, huge disaster. Everything
about the music as well.
The music as well, it's not giving. It's not even a standard. I mean, what happened to the Oriente musical score? What happened to the MU playlist you have on Spotify? What?
I think with the Oriente music score, because it was still under NBC Universal.
Correct.
They probably have the rights to it. That's why they cannot use
Yes,
it.
but they have a new scoring system that they have on the official Miss Universe Spotify. You could have used that. Or you've been using royalty-free music all these years, but that one is so underwhelming. I also want to mention how the hosts, this is such a big blunder. I don't hate Shanice. I don't hate Arbony, but they're too tired of a queen sitting on that position. What happened? There's a lot of bad things that we could say about this, and it shouldn't be the case. We should be celebrating this stage. But you give us the reason to question all of these things. I mean, it felt more like a rehearsal rather than a preliminary final show. Because back in the day, the excitement was like really, really high because you can see them performing well. You're excited about how the girls are going to present themselves. So the critique is about the women. Now, it's less about the girl because you didn't give the girl enough space and enough spotlight to be themselves and show themselves in the process. That's why to me, this is one of the worst staging ever. Not because it's the worst stage, but the conditions to make it better is not there. 2014, you were there in Miami.
Yes.
It was a basketball court, but that pales in, this one is in comparison to that, an arena.
Yeah, okay. So my take on the production is that it didn't feel Miss Universe. That's the first thing that I felt.
It felt like a local pageant.
It felt like it was. I'm sure you're familiar with rebranding, repackaging, and all. It felt like they're trying to repackage the pageant, but at the same time, they failed to find something that ties the image that it was to the image that they want, to the future that they want. So, from a marketing perspective, it's kind of failed because there are no elements that makes me remind the stage of the past
Miss
Miss
Universe.
Universe
It
that we
doesn't.
had experienced. Unlike
It
the
doesn't.
crown, if you look at the crown, I posted it earlier on my Instagram and Facebook accounts, that the crown seems to look like it's a mix of the star of the universe, the one with the like atom
Correct.
thing in the center.
Mm-mm.
It has that element. It has the swirling shapes of the chandelier crown, and
Correct.
then it also had the setting of stones and the
The
pearl
Mikimoto.
of the Mikimoto.
It has a softness, the curve. There's some modernity to it. I think
Yes.
Jewelmer did well, but I'm not going to give credit to the organization because that's the creativity of the jewelers of the partner company who did that. So I'm going to give the props to Jeweler for that vision. Buti pa the Jeweler has the vision for the pageant. The pageant itself doesn't have a vision for itself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that now. I mean, how can I say this without hurting? You know, it takes one thing to crave for grandiosity and say I can do better job than that
Yeah.
based on the past. But if you're all talk and you don't have the essence to do it, it will truly fail.
Or you don't deliver on the promise.
Correct. Not because you want your country to win, to consistently place, or give the crown to yourself, that the answer is always to take ownership and like make the room for it. No, it doesn't always. It should be the hard work. And you know what? I don't think this is gonna do something for Thailand or for Latin America in the long run. We need a neutral ownership again. I think a creative vision, not just people who think they know better. I mean, I'm not saying that we could run it better than anyone else because I'm sure some of you would say, kang ingay yung dalawa, why don't you just own it if you have the money? But you know what, there are more.
But I think there are some things that I can appreciate with the preliminaries.
Correct.
And for one thing, for me, I love the fact that there is like a special focus on the national costumes. Because
Yeah,
for me,
that's what I want. I think that's what
Yeah.
made it too Mexican because Mexicans have a flair for the traje típico as they call it, diba? So that they always wanted that. So I think that's the last attempt for festivity. And you know what? Beyond the stage in itself, it's really sad because it's a missed opportunity for Mexico to showcase such a colorful, vibrant culture that they kind of deprive the girls to do so. Most of them are confined in the hotel rooms day after day after day. The sightings always in the hallway, in the parties, in the dinners. I don't know. I mean, I think to this day, Miss Universe 2018 in Thailand still is the pageant to beat in terms of that full package. You know, you see Thai essence every single night.
And for me, the best stage design for Miss Universe will still be Miss Universe 2013 in Russia.
Oh, you like that?
I like that.
A lot of people are saying that the one in Thailand is still the X stage.
The X stage, yes, but for the stage design, the reason why I like it is because there is changing in the sets of the
It's
design.
an opera. I like that too. I get you.
With the stage in Thailand, that was all LED screens. So it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I felt that there's more culture with Moscow.
To me, I also like the Miami 2014 stage. It's fun and playful
Yeah,
on
is.
screen.
On screen, but not
Yeah.
not in reality. Because the seats were hard.
Yeah, but to
The
me,
seats were
the
hard.
stage was really nice. I think there's the glamour, the fun part,
So
and
you
all.
see, we're harping on the past, which is not necessarily the direction that the Miss Universe.
Heck, I would love a
Going.
Christmas pageant like 2012 either. Matang Christmas trees lang yun ha. I mean, the decoration during Janine Togonon's time is just filled with Christmas trees everywhere. And it worked. Diba? I like the snowball feel of it. Diba? Or even the Brazilian pageant when the iconic Sao Paulo bridge was used as a runway there and the lack of a provision for a runway because Credit Card Hall was not the ideal theater for a runway, but they made it work. I mean, things like that could have made a lot of sense. Yeah. I
But
think
before we get to be too negative with the
Yeah, but there's
the,
positive aspects to it.
we have to also find the positive aspects. For
Which is
me, it's the celebration of the national costume, and for the longest time, apparently, the format of the Miss Universe is that 60% of the scores is going to be from the interviews.
interviews, brain.
20% on the swimsuits, 20% on the evening gowns. Nowadays, with the introduction that every segment is scored, so it means that the national costume, the swimsuit, and the if you call that an evening gown presentation, including the closed door interviews, then we might now have a different mix or a different way of selecting the top 30 or the top
Correct.
10.
It's more optical.
So it's more visual.
It's more visual.
Because of the introduction of the national costume. And
Correct.
I think what the organization is looking for is someone who can deliver on the theatrics. So maybe the girls on the finals start delivering it. You gotta give it your all because none of the candidates really stood out and gave us like a wow performance. I think everyone is just the best that I can compliment the girls is that even the strongest performers were just the standard.
Yes, and you know what, one thing that you mentioned that I was saying earlier, there was no standout in this edition. There were only standards.
But I disagree because for me, after watching the entire thing, there's only one girl that really stood out for me, and that's Peru. That's Tati Carmel. And
Because of the face, but in terms of performance, I would say the standard
Iliana.
performance will be Venezuela.
Iliana.
Still. But we'll get down to that a little bit.
Bit
See,
later.
this is the beauty of dissenting opinions with this
Yeah.
one. We will dissect it as we go along. So I
Yes.
think that I agree. To me, if there's any best thing about this, it's the girls still because this is about them. This is their night. The only backslide in this one is that they weren't given enough time and opportunity for them to shine. And you can feel it in the energy. I think a lot of women felt bad. I think Indonesia's Clara Shah has posted also how she cannot walk in the shoes, things like that.
So let's let's dissect that. The shoe should be be walkable. Should
Correct.
be walkable because it has a chunky heel and it has a platform.
And a platform.
To elevate.
It doesn't bend. You know what? I think that's where Jojo. I mean, I may not be a big fan of Jojo's shoes aesthetically, but functionally, it's the best shoe to use in terms of the ability to bend, flip, and fold, and make the feet work in its comfort.
I'm not supposed to say this because this is supposed to be like an industry secret.
Correct.
Of Jojo Bargai's shoes. There is something with the way that the shoes are constructed. I'm not gonna give you a blow by blow of how the shoe is constructed. It will take time. It will take like hours to explain that. But there is this technique where you insert on some certain areas and certain parts of the
shoe.
shoe fork so that it's easier to how to say this? It can absorb the bounce when you're walking,
Got it.
and then it's easier and lighter to walk in, and it's easier to carry. So in terms of the construction of the shoe, I understand that the Bergay shoes are lighter, easier to walk with because of that special cork thing that they put into the
inside.
shoe.
Okay,
Yes.
got
So
that makes sense.
I've met Jojo. I've talked with him intensively in the past when he was still very active with Binibining Pilipinas. In fact, actually, one of the one of the instances that we were talking with Jojo with regards to the shoe, he explained to me how certain techniques in constructing. I'm not gonna tell you where or how, because that's something that's trade secret for Jojo. But the way that he does assemble the shoe, the special cork that he uses makes it much more easier to carry.
Correct. And some of the styles are also what you call this. flattering on a girl's feet, such as the Jessa shoe, for instance, where it's just like so clean, and the continuity with the leg is really appreciated. I'm not saying that you could go back to Jessa. I mean, if it's not Jojo, even the Chinese laundry heels back in the day are really crafted in a sense that it allows the women to have a good stature.
Or if they cannot, if the girls or the organization doesn't want the high tipitos na mga shoes, then probably they can do the Gazzini shoe, which is the basic pumps.
Correct.
I think it's the highest heel is around 3 or 4 inches. So it's still manageable to walk in as compared to the 5-inch.
And we saw that yesterday. I think girls such as Russia use a different shoe. I saw that. There's another girl who used a different shoe also from Europe. Some Latinas did not follow because the difficulty in the shoe factor, and that also dampened a lot of the girls' performances. And so we mentioned the performances. I think it's the high time to get into it. No?
Okay, before we do that, let's do some comments. Okay, so
There were quite a few.
yep. Daniel Yuson says, President Sir Jason, excited what our pageant and fashion indicator has to say about Chelsea's prelims performance. Ina de Jesus, agree ba kayo sa number one pick ng Miso, which is
Si Opal.
Thailand? We're gonna get
Yung
into
mata ko,
that.
no?
We're
Okay.
gonna get into that, okay? Sabi ni May Angko, hello guys, ito talaga ang iniintay ko na analysis yearly.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Sabi ni Ina, again, number 1 sa Thailand sa hot pick ng Miss Astrology. Parang hindi naman. Iba na naghahanda ng production ng Miss U, ICYK. Okay.
I think also mentioned, Christine said that you like the new crown.
Yes.
We do like.
It's one of the
Yes.
redeeming factors.
Correct. We mentioned that earlier. We love the new jeweler. Kudos. Ina de Jesus also mentioned, I think they don't have a partnership with Mexico. This pertaining to the lack of pre-pageant activities. I think so too. I think sinolder lahat ni Raul yung pag-host nun, kaya nagka-problema sila. Elton Pacupia, I still love the Brazil production. Yeah, Sao Paulo did an amazing hosting job in 2011. Art Laurent, Hola Jason and Mark. Hola. Lemuel 3235, hello Jason. Ito na papasok sa ating pageant terms sa pasabog, gimmick, pasarela, pinauso natin ng sariling walk na candidates. They miss it but nobody gave it.
Yeah. And I don't think that there is one girl that is consistent in terms of strong
But
walk.
it's more of a national pride na talagang comes with her sash factor.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, also Lemuel, yan.
Ito yung component yung nahanap ngayon ni Kun An when it comes to delivering performance. Precious Nahimia. Hello, Precious. Sabi niya, what's your overall impression of this year's
It's a
Miss
fail.
Universe?
It's a fail. No, it's not super fail, but I think it's not the best really.
For me, I am gonna pass judgment after the finals.
Yes, doon na,
Kasi-
tingnan natin baka they can redeem themselves o baka there's some missing elements on stage na might come in after the finals.
Yes.
Esther Garian, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate Chelsea Manal's prelims performance? We'll get to it later. Correct. So, yon. So, speaking of that performance now, performance is where we speak. So,
okay.
the performance are
Let's start with-
divided into 3 parts: the national costume, the swimsuit, and the evening gown. Or whatever you call
Let's
that.
start the conversation with the strongest performance. Kasi very slim pickings yung strong
Correct. Alam mo,
performances this year.
usually what Justin and I do, minsan nahihirapan kami, di ba? We do a listing. We have top 30 this year. We're not gonna go near 30. We don't gonna go
Top 5.
20. We'll just go 15 at the most or 12 siguro and then 5.
10 na lang.
10 na lang. Mas madaling gawin yung 10.
Hindi, mas believable yung 10.
Alam mo, I'm sorry to say this, but any girl beyond top 10 are all fillers. Because none of them really perform exceptional. I could name few in the past editions. 2021, hirap na hirap tayo. In Israel, di ba? It was one of the most head-to-head competition. I wish there could have been more, di ba?
2022 was difficult because we were like there's a push and pull between USA versus Venezuela.
Correct,
Remember
but
that?
it's still that's also slim pickings 2022 because
Yeah.
you know it could be Amanda or just Arboni. It's easy to call.
Yeah.
2023, we wish could have been more. 2019 is also a weak year. The top 30 should have happened in 2018
Yes.
because of the amount
Yes.
of
The
oh my god,
candidates
exceptional
that
women.
are strong girls there.
Yes, it
But
could have.
even if it's 127 candidates in Miss Universe 2018, it's still going to be
No, no.
Catriona.
We're not talking about number one in 2018. That number one is from day one to end. It's
Yeah.
given. It's Catriona's game to lose.
Yeah.
But at least for other women who wishes to be part of the magic circle, I wish they could have been given more,
Yeah,
no,
agree.
chances at placement there. This is not spectacular. I mean, it is not spectacular.
It feels alien.
It feels alien. It feels.
alien.
It
doesn't
feels
feel
weak.
like it's Miss Universe.
You know what? I think the top 30 placement could have been present in the years such as say 2013 where some girls are very good,
Yes.
or 2012, 2014, 2015, 2012
Okay.
even.
Because I was there were a lot of gorgeous girls. Russia, Ukraine, what's her name? There's a lot of European girls who are
I would
really
even
gorgeous.
give top 30 in 2015 to see Urvashi walk that stage. Diba?
Yes.
I mean, to give, because there's a lot of women
But
I wish could have been
to be fair with Urvashi, it was not because she didn't perform. It's because they didn't like her personality.
They didn't like her.
In 2015,
And
that's why.
but this year we have a girl that who don't like the personality but also perform.
Very Zalaika.
Very Zuleika.
So,
Very Pam Pam.
okay. We're trying not to nitpick, but it's so difficult kasi to find something that is, extraordinary good in this
When in
edition
fact
so
there
far.
should be something extraordinary, especially we're in the last stretch. Chelsea is also another story because I don't know. There's something that happened between what happened in MOA, the Chelsea we saw in MOA, and what we saw in Mexico are two different women.
girls.
So yeah,
We were expecting
no,
something.
I'm not even mad about it because Chelsea's performance is just hers. But ang daming tao doon sa Mexico right now.
Ang dami nila.
Ang dami nyo doon.
Ang dami nila.
I'm not gonna blame the girl this time, but you know what? That too much broth would spoil the. I mean,
Too
too
much
much
cooks,
too much cooks spoils the broth, diba? I don't know.
Okay, so
let's start now with the girls that we
the
think
number one
stand.
in our list, in our personal list. Who's
Sino
your
nga
number
ba?
one?
I would stick with Tactical Nel Solar pa rin. I
Yeah.
think it's still with her as the safest spot goes to Peru only because Peru did not overdo, Peru did not mismanage, Peru might seem underwhelming to many but she just did enough. Ako yun lang siguro the criticism, you just give enough. Well, in fact, she could have went overboard and would be gagging because she among the girls has the license. And she has the license not because we're playing favoritism, but because why? She has the machinery already. She has the platform already. We know her connections also. And we know her capabilities. And so if for anybody else, Peru has the sheer right to go above and beyond and it will still be alright, right? But I think she's reserving the energy for tomorrow. She's giving me Paraguay 2021 energy. Nadia Ferreira, may ganong energy sa akin. Yung parang runaway winner. But the difference is there's no harness sandu this time. Parang ganon. It's like that. She's giving me Nadia Ferreira energy that's more calmer, more confident, and more well-packaged without the threat of a harness in the mix. So, I'm gonna give it to her.
For me, the reason why I put Tati on top of my list, simply because during the preliminaries, from the start to finish, from evening gown to national costume to swimsuit, she did not forget that her unique selling point is her face. And she played to that strength.
Yeah.
And when you play to your strength, there's no guarantee, there's no way that you're gonna lose.
Correct.
So the way that she performed on stage, it was not overly done. It was just enough that she maintains her lead among everyone else.
And there's another thing I see among pageant experts when they talk about Peru. It's not like, oh, she's astonishing. Oh, she did this. But they keep on looking at Peru. I mean, there's always a question, where's Peru? How did she do? People were looking for her without her imposing that you have to look for her. I think that's the magic of it. Eh. Yun yung sinasabi siguro ng X Factor na how did she fare?
And the thing is, during the Trump era, even during the press junkets, even during the events where nobody actually live streams these events, it is always drilled not only to the girls but also to the pageant media that they're looking for a girl that when she walks inside a room, you know that she's Miss Universe.
Yes, and that's Paulina Vegas. That's the Catrionas.
Yes.
That's the Oksana Fedorova. That's the those are the girls.
Are the kind of girls that they want.
And they're not present every year.
Yes.
Correct.
But you feel that that's the energy that is.
That's tactical Mel. When she walks in the room, you respect her without telling you.
And the beauty of Tati is that she does not ask for attention.
Correct.
You are just automatically drawn to her.
Parang it's not like respetame, mírame.
No.
Like me.
Which I think is the opposite of Celine. Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic is too much. She's doing the most. In the gay speak of all the drag race fans,
she's doing extra.
The most. She's extra.
She's extra. But because she's doing extra, she's also in a top of our list.
Correct. But I think I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe I also want to give it to her. She's doing the most because she wants to be there. She wants to win. It's like telling people na panalunin niyo ako because I'm doing this much, diba? I really wanted.
I find it kind of ironic that these girls both came from Miss International.
Correct.
And from how I see it, Dominican Republic shows that she's more thirsty, while Peru is showing that
she's more worthy.
I'm worth it. So those are two different things, and I am hoping that whoever the Miss Universe organization prefers between those two different energies is someone who is going to make the Miss Universe organization's image better. Because
Okay.
right now, I think the Miss Universe image overall is suffering, and they need someone with the charisma of Peru's Tati Calmel to bring about a more positive perception of the organization.
The pageant. Well, if that's the question, then we can go with another girl that we think could deliver that. She's standard because she came from a country that set the standard. I think Venezuela's Eliana Guerra could be that girl also. In terms of ability to, the other layer is she's a mom, but she doesn't like play into the factor na I'm a mother, I'm married, I have child. But she's still a very much Miss Venezuela that's quintessential. Like, a girl that you crown and because she's the queen. And everybody would say, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. She's okay. She delivers. In an absence of Selene and a conundrum of choosing between Selene or Tati Calmel because it's a fresh and a tactical girl and then there's like a standard Miss Universe girl. I think Venezuela could be it. I mean, if she crowned her, nobody would question, nobody. But it's not super shocking either.
It's not super shocking.
It's not super shocking. It's not super, she won. Okay, let's move on. I don't think that would deliver also the shockwave that Miss Universe would have wanted it to. It would be limited to a certain area and region in the world that could appreciate her. That's only the downside of it. That's a problem with that. But I think she did really, really well.
I also think that among the girls, when it comes to performance, I would say that Ileana Marquez Pedrosa, Miss Venezuela, is number one consistent in terms of the performance aspect of the
Correct.
competition.
You know, in the preliminaries, the swimsuit, I think she's the best.
She's the best in swimsuit.
She's
I
the best.
agree. I
Without
agree.
doing too much, if we're gonna go by the standards of good pasarela, good presence, and ganyan, without stealing the show and eating too much time, Ileana did really well. Venezuela is number one. Unlike Dominican Republic, was just like being there and not following attention. Actually, I think that might cost her the crown. Because she's difficult to work with. There's a surfacing video that she's not following the floor director's management and all, and she's doing her own thing. I don't know how it's gonna play for her, but she also has a strong backer, we heard. She might be there, she might not be. She is a very strong contention for Tukuyo, actually. I have to be honest about it. If they wanna slap her out, she's gonna be Tukuyo. But I don't want her to be Tukuyo because she's doing so much, because she's sending a message that, hey, crown me, it's me, I'm worth it, I'm here, look at me, right? It's like that. But yeah, I think those three girls are making the list surge. And you know what? This is again a Latina bloodbath, and we're in the Latina ground, so another Latinas.
This is something that I already mentioned in previous live streams, in our previous live stream, that it's going to be Latina-centric.
Latina-centric.
Not because it's owned by a Latino, okay? We saw the performance of the girls during the preliminaries, and it was the Latinas who were the standard. They were the ones who were giving it their best.
They're all.
Yeah.
And I think the girl that could add more drama to that is,
And if I might just add,
no, sure.
it's the Africans that actually delivered well as
The
well
competition.
after the Latinas.
Oh my God, it's the African girls. My melanin queens are giving it.
Okay, let's take a break from our list.
Okay, so we're talking about top 5 here first now, because I think the list is too narrow to even cite much. So right now, if we're gonna go by the top 3, it would be Dominican Republic, Peru, Peru, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela. We ended. But let's do top 6, because Dominican Republic might be out, so there might be another girl to take place. So we're gonna do a top 6 here. So yeah, so we're gonna take a break.
We're gonna take a break. Let me just mention some African girls that really gave me like wow factor. No, Angola.
Wow, yeah. The evening gown though, without walking, she delivered there.
Yes. For me, the hair was perfect.
Hair
I
is
think
perfect.
if the hair was straightened out, it would not be as
As
strong.
impactful,
as
because
impactful.
the straightened out hair belongs to Nigeria, no other girl.
Yes.
She's giving us face. She's
And-
giving us charisma.
I'm gonna also add the Republic of Congo.
I was about to say,
Republic of Congo.
Democratic Republic of
The
Congo.
body
The
was
body
giving.
is giving, and presence is giving.
And gosh, the proportion on that girl, amazing. That's the kind of proportion that I would hire for a
Correct.
runway show.
Yes, and speaking of runway ready girl, we have Zimbabwe, who is making us runway day after day after day. And if you wanna have a black girl to be on the top 5 list, I think Zimbabwe would be it. You know what? Here's a scenario that Jeff and I was talking. There were previous editions where it's a Latina-dominated 5.
Yes.
2008, where it was only Russia who placed and spoiled abroad. So meaning a European could spoil it. At 2005, scenario where a North American girl could spoil it.
Yeah.
Girl sets in a or it could be a total Latina. Latin America.
It could even be 4 Latinas, 1
Yeah.
4 Latinas, 1 European, or
Yeah.
4 Latinas, 1 Asian. That is how strong the Latinas
Which I think for Latina, 1 Asian is the least
least possible.
possible for me. But unless some force is being used on it. Because pilit na talaga ako at this point. Pilit na pilit talaga yung kapitbahay natin doon. Pilit na pilit. Because she's, I don't know, like even the torchbearer of Asia, I don't even think so.
I think the torchbearer of Asia is in Oceania.
Which is another element to me. I think surprisingly that girl really did well. But right now I'm not gonna place her in the top 5/5. I'm gonna put her 6/5. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
As a replacement.
Fair.
A spare tire.
comment section muna tayo.
Correct.
Kami na naman.
Go, laban. Where did we end? We ended in I think the question about the Chelsea natapos ay kay Targaryen. So let's
see them well. Dapat yung runway kasi super haba. Kasi ang stage this year is super short. Yes, I was expecting a runway.
Oo.
It did not happen.
Tapos hindi naman, okay na naman short ang runway kung yung camera movement ay maayos but it's not either.
Because if you remember the Doral, the 2014 show, at least, maiksi din naman ang runway nun. But it's the camera angling that really pulled off
It's V.
the entire.
Wala tang runway yun eh, parang V.
So it's a flat stage like that. There is a bridge there, just short stairs, and then all the girls will have to move
This way.
this way.
Ano siya eh?
They remember
Vertical, horizontal siya to the audience. Kaya nakikita mo yung pasarela sideways.
Yes.
Correct.
So, sabi, the beauty critic. Good evening, fellas.
It's an
indicator or
indicates that the Miss Universe, its dim stage of relevance, its economy is in the red and all signs are there. With Miss Universe is a fiesta or a niche. I think beauty critic is not from Asia. I think you're Latina, may gusta su presensya para canal de Sashes&Scripts. Gracias a todos. But what we think, yeah, we agree. It's all about
there was a time, I think it was where I posted a live stream where I discussed the first time. And I got so much flack with that on social.
It's dying in a sense that nobody asked for it anymore. I mean, Chinese traveled, sure, but there's also reason behind it. I think part of our closing fee later. Pag-usapan natin to kanina, why I think it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Rest says, stage is giving possible search for Miss Intrams. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, 23.5, do you think since nabanggit na that there's a girl with a unpleasant personality but do you think the Miss Universe or will let this attitude slide or this could be a factor for her to be eliminated? For me, we have to reward performance regardless of data or hindi. Unless the attitude really is so terrible that it becomes problematic.
Unbearable. You know what? In the history of Miss Universe, there's only one super Malita girl that was crowned. It was in 2006. Wow. I'm not mixing words, but you know, we had a lot of words that Zuleika was a very difficult girl to work with. But Zuleika also delivers the energy and the representation. I think Zuleika was partly responsible on heightening the impact of Miss Universe towards the Latino community, which also benefited Diana Mendoza in the long run and Stephanie Fernandez because of their presence. You know, it started with Amelia Vega, a non-Dominicana, but that, you know, gave us the height, the gloss, the glam, the pasarela, and all of these things. Supermodel. She ushered it in. I think it was Amelia Vega that gave us the dominance of Latin America, and that factor. And so it continued all through the mid-2000s until IG took over. So I think that's the case about it. Sabi niya third form, magkamukha si Dominican Republic and Ukraine 2004. I don't think so. Si Alexandra Nikolayenko, the favorite of Donald Trump, the reason why Trump picks happened.
Yeah. I don't see it, but
but more like she's trying to be Amelia Vega.
Yes.
And you know what?
I see the Amelia Vega reference.
And you know what?
Yes.
The evening gown, she wore blue. And the gown segment, because Amelia also wore blue in the preliminaries, I'm expecting she's gonna wear white on Monday. If she does wear white, she's sending a strong message siya from me. Okay.
Just
Tumabingi lang po, sorry, because tinamaan po siya kanina ng ano.
I need to make this so that in case na magkaroon tayo ng issue mama.
Yeah.
Ayan, there.
Correct. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
So another message, we're gonna read the verse 6 reference. So, oo naman, di ba? Targaryen. Okay, Merlita Tiangco said, Mixology final prediction is talaga si MU. Are they correct? Later, we'll check on that. Lemuel said, MU doesn't like pasaway winner to work with? I do not know. Sometimes I do.
We don't know with this new organization. Wow.
Si Ashton said, how are you both daw tayo? I just tuned in because my film performance Chelsea. We will take on it. Maaga ka. Thank you so much for tuning in early. We'll give our analysis on Chelsea's performance later on. Precious Nehemia, Emmy's in need of money. Correct naman. It's always been present.
Sabi ni Sami, daming nanonood pero konti lang ang like.
Sanay kami dyan. Basta manood kayo and take away our insights. Yes. Masaya na kami doon. Yari and sinong possible Miss L Tukuy in her opinion? Dominican Republic. In the same sense that she's also gonna be there.
She's gonna,
But if it's not Dominican, who's it for you?
Ayoko sabihin.
Sabihin mo na.
Baka, Diyos ko Lord, ayoko sabihin. Baka mangyari. Nasa P group. Okay, yun na yun.
Tayo.
Yun na yun.
Ako, feeling ko rin. Ay, hindi.
Okay.
Sinong P group to?
P, as in P.
Pilipinas o Peru?
Doon sa P group.
Hala, sige. Knock-on-wood. Sige, dahil dyan, basta ano?
Again, unforgiving ang Mexico sa atin.
Tapos unforgiving din yung performance. Ay, hindi. Sige, hindi. Hindi kami magiging harsh.
Sige.
Lighting lang ang harsh dito. Hindi yung... Okay, mamaya. Disenting na natin yan. Okay, next. Sangeeta Kartik. Hi. If you're Indian, namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Ben Hernandez suggests nitpick OC lang po.
I like that our community is going international.
We love that. Actually, that's a goal. May international. Whatever we say here, bring it to your countries. I mean... if it suits you. Congo daw was labeled kasi akalaing
Yes,
Dr.
Congo is good. She delivered during the swimwear competition.
Ang galing talaga yun. Ang galing ni Congo. Yeah. I think Congo deserves to place. Dr. Congo daw.
Sinong nagsabi? Was it Chinese or...
At saka yung feeling ko, yung kaibigan natin si Adam Henato ay naging Dr. Congo din. Sabi niya one time.
DR means
Democratic Republic. No, because it's so long. Alam mo ba, there was a time that the sash of Dominican Republic was as Dom Rep.
Yes. There was a time also Slovak Republic. This is Slovak Rep.
Yeah. Ganon. May ganon-ganon lang sila. Or United Kingdom was once UK lang talaga, literal. I think 2008 or such was as UK. Ganon ang ka-exec. Nangyayari talaga yung abbreviations. Trinidad and Tobago. Ay, mamaya tayo na. So, yan. So, for those who just tuned in, we
just mentioned our top
three, rounding the top 5. Kasi sinasabi namin that what we're saying is that the performances was not so strong that a top 30 is not necessary. We can just narrow it to top 10 and we'll be good.
But I think maybe let's go through each continent again later.
Correct. That might comprise the top 30. Okay. So
ilabas na natin yung top 5.
Correct. So for the country, we're doing a 6/5. Why? Because in a case that one of the girls, such as Dominican Republic, might go to Cuyo, tapos sabi ko talaga to Cuyo sa Dominican Republic. I mean, if she goes to Cuyo, another girl might take her place. So we'll be citing our 6. We now mentioned 3 girls, which is Peru, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela.
Venezuela, number 2, number 3 is Dominican Republic.
Correct. And so 4 is another Latina. Let's give from DR to PR, the sister country, the Puerto Rican, Boricua, representa a todos, esa mujer tan lindas. I think her performance is
for me was
perfect.
Perfect.
It's perfection. And I heard that they like her. She's nice and kind.
Very visual.
She's very visual.
Visual gorgeous.
You know what? Her outfit on a day-to-day basis was excellent.
For me, there are 3 girls on my top list that were delivering, visuals. No, 4 girls. Consistent visuals,
Every
styling,
day.
makeup, every day.
Yeah.
Peru, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, which are exactly our top 3 girls, and then Chile. And then I was debating whether I should include
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico in that list.
Now, Puerto Rico is not also overdoing it. When we expect that Puerto Ricans would usually overdo it, She's not.
She's not. So
I like
am now putting her in like the
Correct.
five girls.
Her
that
gown
are
is
doing
really
well.
pleasant. I like the fringe bleeding into the green, the blue in the green one. I thought it was very Miss Earth, but I like it. It was alright, amount of sexy. You know what? I think
She could be the spoiler among our
yeah,
readers.
she could also be Miss Universe here. Last year, my Miss Universe was Puerto Rico. I think she might also be in my list. But she was well into top 5. I think the motherhood also played part into it well. She's a representation of what a real woman is about. A successful woman that happens to be a mother, that did not change her views in life. You could feel it, the kindness and the softness in the competition. It's not a typical Puerto Rican girl that's so gigil or so strong or a claw fight. But it's more of a softer Latina vibe that's so endearing that you want her, you're drawn to that attention. I really like Puerto Rico this year.
If, for me, if it's not going to be Peru, then perhaps give it to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Or
Which will also deliver, I think, in terms of monetary power because Puerto Rico has an affinity with North American audience. Generally, you will open the door for another market, which is the women 35 and above.
yeah.
Mothers that could, appreciate. Maybe Miss Universe Care might be the new skincare for women from that age group. I'm
Yeah.
giving you marketing tips here, MUO. You could also send the message at whatever age, that Miss Universe is ageless, Crown is
Yeah.
ageless, being beautiful, confident, and representative of excellence is ageless. That's Puerto Rico for you. Kun An could work well with that. And she would respect that. Raul could work well with that also. So that's our fourth girl. The fifth one. Another Latina?
I hate to say it.
Go. Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
So yan, sinuspense tayo. Is it Chile?
Yeah.
I think Chile could be it also.
Yeah.
Because Chile naman represents the youth of the Latin America. She's the young, fresh.
The moment she went out in her swimsuit competition, you know that she's gonna deliver the entire competition.
And she knows she's liked. And she's trying her best to be liked. Not
Yes.
trying hard. She's trying her best to be liked. And she's liked by many people. It's been a long time since Cecilia Boloco was Miss Universe. I think if there's another Latina you want to give second chance to, Peru and Chile were the ones,
Yeah.
na? And Dominican Republic are gunning for second crowns, no?
And these two crowns, these two countries have one of the longest wait for their next round.
Correct.
So-
I mean, Chile is not bad.
Chile's
She's
not bad.
young, she's fresh.
And she's vibrant, she's bubbly.
She could in opposite of what Puerto Rico could deliver in terms of market reach, she could bring naman the brand to a younger audience,
Yeah.
a more Gen Z attachment and representation. So maybe that's it. So we were saying earlier that it could be a 2008 where a European could spoil it or a 2005 where a North American could spoil it, pero hindi pa nangyari na an Asian spoiled the whole 5 or an African spoiled the whole 5/5, but this could be a full top 5, a full Latina top 5. This might be the scenario. So we're gonna go to the sixth girl because this is very crucial and sensitive.
Who's your sixth girl? I think we have two different girls in mind.
Oo, and two different girls. It's not gonna be an African girl for me. I want it to be an African girl, but it could be an Oceania girl for me or a European girl for me. So it's either or. So for an Oceania girl, I think the strongest Filipina in the competition, do not crucify us, but Victoria Velasquez
Yes.
Vincent, I think, made the great choice of switching country, representing New Zealand, mounting a very calm campaign with the help of Filipino friends like Axel Ke, creating her national costume, diba? She really cruised really, really well, calm and comfortable. I think New Zealand may be back in the winning circle after such a long time. Top 12 is easy reach for VVV. That seems that performance was so calm and collected. I like it. With the swirl of the sarong in the hand, holding in your hip, the walk has improved significantly much. Ito, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna touch on it pa now. Pero she's opposite of what Chelsea did. Chelsea was so good in the nationals. VVV was so lame in Manila. But VVV was so good in Mexico. Chelsea was a bit lame in Mexico. But that could spoil the fun for both girls. Pero since we're talking about VVV,
Let's talk about
ito yun.
Chelsea later. Okay.
So since talking about VVV talaga, I think we need to give her the props sa taga Trinabaho, ginalingan. at inaurahan. Ang galing.
I think that she gave a calm energy among the girls from Asia.
Correct.
Very calming energy niya. Hindi
Very
masyadong
calm,
pilit.
very nice.
I just felt that Mark had struggled a little bit at the national costume na part because it was so huge.
Yeah.
But at the swimsuit competition, I think she did her.
And rumors has it that ang galing-galing daw ng closed door interview nitong si VVV.
So,
Ang galing daw talaga ng
if she delivered on that, then definitely
she might be there.
She might be there.
So could she be one of the girl in the top 5? I would love to see a New Zealand girl, a Kiwi girl in the top 5.
Of course.
Back in MUP, she was one of our presumptive Miss Universe Philippines, VVV and Stacy, di ba? Among the top 3, but we thought Atisa Manalo would be it, and it didn't happen. But VVV is consistent on giving us the winner vibe, and I'm just very happy
she
for
might
her.
be the ayokong mangyari to. She might be the only Filipina making top 10.
Oh wow, jeez.
Okay, so that's then again, if in case Chelsea makes top 30, ilaban mo ng bongga, girl. Lumabang ka.
No, we're not hating on you, Chelsea, but we love you. Oh, sige, since napag-usapan natin, let's go to Chelsea. I think Chelsea could...
Wait, meron pa ako.
Meron pa ba?
Meron akong isang girl.
Ay, oo, sige, kasi gusto ko rin yung European
Kasi
i-discuss.
You mentioned European, and that's the same thing in my head. That it's
Finland
either...
ba?
No.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah. Ako, Denmark is my sentimental European fave. Denmark.
I mean, gorgeous. And if visuals is very important at Miss Universe this year, if beauty of face ang pag-uusapan, hindi pa huhuli si Denmark.
Oo.
Okay? And Denmark also, if I'm not mistaken, she's the pharmacist in the group.
In the group?
She is I think it's Doctor of Pharmacy, yung kanyang title. So, if she brings that into the interview competition, and she...
Yun, so yeah, I totally agree with Denmark. So it could be, if it's a European spoiler, so Denmark might inch one girl in the Latina circle, and then,
if it's Asia-Oceania,
that might be New Zealand, BBB. So I think, no, more than Chelsea, no, mamaya na muna, I think there's another girl na talagang masakit listening to this, no? Because a lot of people are mentioning Opal Suchata na, bakit hindi ka naman ng top 5 nyo? Hindi ba para shuin na? I think, hindi worthy of a top 5. The way Opal...
Based on the preliminaries, okay?
Preliminaries and the total campaign, you know what? Antonia Porchil still did a very good job. She's the best that Thailand has sent so far, and Opal did not top that. So if you're expecting a Thailand placing among the top 5, I'm so sorry, but I have to call it. If Opal makes a top 5, it's politics. It's a forced way through.
For me naman, if Chelsea or Opal make sure that they deliver during the finals, they make top 30, they do well in the swimsuit, in the evening gown, they might cut it into the top 10.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing.
We are basing our opinions
based on how we see it, no? But it's not absolute. So any of the girls can make the top 5. And God, I would love that. Example, Chelsea breaks on the top 5 because ginalingan niya. Because we're only basing lang naman with the lackluster performance that happened yesterday. Or say Opal really gave us what she did in her nationals to the stage. But here's the thing, a lot of these girls frontrunners are good at their nationals but not good at universe. Why?
I don't know.
There's something happened.
That's the question that needs to be answered by their national
directors. What did you do to your girls for them to dampen their energy? Because even Opal was better
at the nationals.
And I can't help but think, if it was Susana Renault that was sent here, I'm afraid mas may chances Susana making top 5.
I'm afraid that it might be the same thing all over again. That it's going to be the same thing with Opal. So for me, regardless of what they said, if they did the same
energy, it's formulaic. I think Thailand, but Thailand is in the top 12. I'm sure because wala nang reason for her not to be in the top 12. I mean, kailangan siyang ipasok doon for obvious reasons. she did her job, but the job was not just as best as Antonia. And I think,
maybe if they did a real evening gown competition where each of the girls walked the stage, I think each of the girls would have delivered better.
Okay, yeah.
I think Chelsea would have had a better performance overall because the gown, she wore the blue gown, had great movement. With the swan-like thing that...
So we're talking about Chelsea now, no? Because ako rin...
Wait lang, tapos pa
Ano to? Si Opal na muna.
Si Opal. If Opal also nagpasarela, she walked with that Brian Fernandez gown, she would have made some dramatic movements for
Possibly.
that. And she could have like propelled herself into our top
I
5.
think that's a mistake, I think. A lot of these girls are prepared to walk in that evening gown segment, then they stop. I think yung thing with Chelsea also was the shift to that blue gown was because they learned about it last minute.
Yeah.
And I think that was also a strategic move, no? But yeah, pero for other girls...
But then again, with the gown that Peru wore, mauna si Peru tapos susunod yung kay Chelsea, it might feel underwhelming because the gown that Peru chose was really gorgeous. I posted it on my IG
Pero
stories.
it's ako naman, I beg to disagree in that sense because it's two different cuts. Maaalala, in
siya.
fairness
I
naman,
agree,
if
I
they
agree,
walk,
yeah,
mas
yeah.
maalala ko Philippines than Peru. Because Peru was whitewashed in that beaded dress, and that silhouette was just the same. We've seen that before. But for Chelsea, I think
But
that was
thing,
strategic.
But the thing is, from the far away na placement ng mga judge, that might not be the case. That you might need the extra sparkle to be noticed.
Ako feeling ko iba kasi yung rehistro nun sa camera eh. It darkens the whole thing. Feeling ko that blue is a better cornflower blue and front. I think we're talking about...
For me, it would have been better if it was mint.
Para tiniyanan niya na talaga. Sana nagtiyanan na. Or seafoam green.
I prefer mint because it would have looked like Lupita Nyong'o, the Prada dress at the Oscars.
Yun,
So,
totoo.
anyway.
Ayun, and siya Princess Tiana ng Pakulusan na 7 about her. And okay, so I'm gonna discuss, I think we have to discuss Chelsea na. Kasi she's here na. You know what, the thing with Chelsea is, ang hirap, ano ba to, na hindi kayo masasaktan. Hindi ko rin naman gustong
masasaktan.
Hindi ko rin naman gustong saktan yung fans. But here's the thing, ang impressive nung shoots, ha. Let's just tell it. Sa socials, ang ganda-ganda nung shoots. Ang ganda-ganda ng mga damit na nirelease nila Seven Barreto, nila Manny Halasan. Pero asaan yun sa Mexico? Kasi ang nangyayari kasi, mas impressive sa social, on a daily basis sa Mexico, it's not as spectacular as it should have been. The national performance was spectacular. We're looking at the Naomi Campbell thing of it. We didn't see it here.
And I was waiting for that moment where, you know the Ana Baile move? The one when you turn, sabay hawin ng hair like that.
She could have
That's a
done.
move that Ana Baile taught Naomi Campbell to do on the catwalk that Chelsea did at Miss Universe
Actually,
Philippines.
Miss Philippines, ano mo, there's no bad thing about repeating. I mean, di ba sinasabi natin, why fix it if it broke? Chelsea is not broken when she won Miss Universe Philippines title. Why did you fix it?
Oo.
Bakit nyo ginalaw? Bakit it's pinakailaman?
Remember when we were talking about the post Miss Universe Philippines review way back in around, was that June na? Or, kasi end May ang MUPH eh. And then we had that live stream, I think in June. Di ba sinabi natin, kung hindi nyo galawin yung aesthetics, hindi nyo galawin yung mukha, yung katawan, yung pasarela ni Chelsea, then we could have had a strong
Yun na yun eh.
performance at Miss Universe now.
Wala kang ibe-better. Yung ginawa ni Chelsea sa locals, you cannot do it better. But if you wanna do it better, not unless gawin mo talaga siyang Naomi Campbell,
Yeah.
diba? But if not, wala na akong magagawa dun because that's actually the best as it could get.
I remember we were talking about if you're going to package her for Miss Universe, package her like they did Lalela at Miss
Supranational. And I don't think that's a secret that people don't know. Alam mo, ang isa masakit sa akin na isipin, Chelsea was doing her very best. I mean, and there were days na ang ganda-ganda niya. I have to give props to her. Nung unveiling of Crown is one of the most beautiful she's ever been. That soft gold glam, high. Saan yun? Alam mo, parang, there were days that she was so beautiful, she was so gorgeous. So, alam ko lumalaban siya. Another thing is, ang dami, I have to call it to the team that's in Mexico right now. Ang dami-dami nyo dyan.
Baka naman dahil sa dami nila, tama yung sinabi na too much cooks.
Alam mo, to all the fans that's watching right now, no, hindi kami nagpapakanega dahil sabihin yung kaaway ni Jason yung MUPH, kaaway namin si Mama J or anything. No, it's not about that anymore. But the thing is, Mama J is there. I don't know, Manny Halasan ba? Up to what extent ba yung power niya to support Chelsea? But I know he brought 8 gowns. That's more than support that could deliver, no? 8 daw ang ginawa niya talaga. And the blue gown is one of those that he created. The gold one is one of those he created also.
But I think yung blue gown, kung nairampa yun, maganda yung movement sa stage, lalo kung nag-twirl siya.
So ako, ayun mo, ang dami yung attention, ang dami yung sinabing masama about that blue gown. But I think that blue gown is strategic. I think it's a wise move. I think it's a positive for her.
It's
ang
just
hindi,
that,
the swimsuit ako doon ako nahirapan.
Sandali lang, tapusin ko muna si blue gown. Siguro kung ang Miss Universe hindi nagdalawang isip to have a evening gown competition, they could have made the evening gown competition as a real competition where each of the girls will walk the stage, showcase, poise, elegance, and class on stage.
And I
think we wouldn't have this debate on who actually did perform well.
Correct.
We could have seen the full spectrum of their
Of the competition, yes. It's a competition by then.
Yeah. So
But
now,
I think because nga they will not walk, and feeling ko nalaman nila last minute, and so mag-ball gown ka. Because all you have to do is stand there. Ako, to be honest, the ball gown lifted Chelsea more than it did harm to her. It's a swimsuit that did harm to her, para sa akin. Because when you're a girl such as a Miss Philippines in general, people are looking at you, waiting for you, and thinking, how will you do? But you do just enough. And I think Chelsea shouldn't do enough. She shouldn't settle. Parang you're expected to do more because you've been doing more. You're a country that came from that sets the excellence and all.
For me, not to nitpick so much, I think Chelsea did well at the styling.
Yes.
She looked perfect.
Ako feeling ko mali lang doon is the hair.
Good.
The face is good.
I like the hair.
I
like the hair.
Alam mo, it's wrong in a sense. It's too short and lacks volume. If you're gonna put it down like that, it could have been... Iba yung nagsabi, dapat Diana Ross nga.
With huge volume.
No, yun nga sana.
Or yung full straight na Naomi.
Full straight na Naomi. Ako yun na inanta. Actually, a lot of, I think, ang consensus ng Filipino fans, sana full straight na yun. Pero ako yung feeling we'll see that on Monday. I hope talaga we see that on Monday. Tomorrow
na.
I mean, please guys, ako, if this is a message to Chelsea, we're not hating on you because we know you're good, girl.
And we want you to win.
We want you to win. At saka you can win this girl. Kayang-kaya mo to. And she's been so excellent. And this is a kind-hearted woman. Alam mo, meron ako nakitang comment some point na nasaan na yung girl na gutom, muntik nag-back out, wala na siyang pera. And so you did really, really well to redeem yourself. Think of it like that. Parang sa akin, wag mo nang isipin yung mga tao na sa paligid. Maniwala kay Manny Halasan because Manny was with you when you were struggling. I think you have a core team in Manila that could have helped you. You have a team in Mexico that does nothing for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that.
I think Chelsea needs to go back to the time where nakikinig lang siya kay Manny Halasan.
Talk to Manny, call your friends in Manila, talk to Seven, relax, matulog ka. Kasi alam mo, nung natulog ka at lumabas ka in that red Anthony Ramirez gown, oh my God, akala ko mananalo ka. Doon na-realize na parang mananalo to talaga. But again, what we're saying, the capability to win, I think now that we're discussing this, now it makes me realize the capability to win. So I think I would put Chelsea comfortably on 7, 8, 9 position.
Still in the top 10.
Top 12, top 10. I think hindi pwedeng itapon yung si Chelsea manalo out of it. And if she does really, really well, she could be that girl that sweeps up to the top 5, diba?
Let's talk about each of the continents.
Now, we go to the continents
that we want
to fulfill.
To make top 15 or top 12.
Sige, doon tayo sa weakest continent, which is Asia.
Yeah.
We can, because
I kind of agree based on the performance.
Because if it's just a continental thing, Thailand and Philippines easily gets it. New Zealand gets it. I don't know who fills that other two position. Is it Malaysia? Is it Cambodia?
Don't say it. Don't say the other name.
No, but I need
No.
to say the words because I can't think of anything else. I need to be reminded. Could be India?
I think India could make it.
No, again, because before this prelims
because-
show, binanggit na natin to that
Yes.
India is... I think India
Because
did...
based on
Okay, we're back.
So we're back. Based on what I saw in the preliminary swimsuit competition, India has a great body. The proportion, the length
And I
that
think
she
the performance was a really decent
has.
performance.
Decent, yes.
Maganda naman.
I also like Pakistan.
Oh.
Yeah. I also like Bahrain. Simply because I know that she is able to talk.
But there's only one Filipina that could says a lot about
Yeah.
the Filipino hate. Alam mo, I'm sorry, but they kinda annoyed by the Filipino strength at this point. So,
Yeah.
I know where this is coming from. United Arab Emirates might.
I think for representation, yes. I think in the top 30, yes.
So, it could be. So, that's your top 5.
At least maybe 1 or 2 girls that wore, the tankini instead of the bikini would make it.
No, but I think the other girl na pwedeng pumasok is in another continent. So those are Croatia. Let's just have a recap. It's in another continent. So those are Croatia. Let's just have a recap.
But the girl that you mentioned is another continent. The country technically straddles both Africa and Asia.
Kinda.
So, sige, ipasok na natin. Egypt.
Oh, but it's in Africa. So i-recap ko lang yung Asia. So it will be Thailand, Philippines, New Zealand, India,
Possibly
and
India
possibly
and-
United Arab Emirates. Because alam mo yung low radar. Sure.
Yes.
But
Char.
we have to give it choppy daw sabi ni loyal fan. I'm so sorry, we're in Manila.
Yeah.
Internet is not a good thing here.
And there's a typhoon.
Sige, we'll just have to repeat. Again, it's Thailand, the Philippines, New Zealand, India, and United UAE. So, sila siguro yon. But other notable mention, yung Cambodia, Bahrain, and what else? Sila yung mga pwede. Possibly Malaysia kung if she tickles the palate of the judges.
I think it's safe to say they're gonna allow Vietnam in the top 30.
No, I don't think she will make it. That's too weak of a performance. Vietnam, please. No. Vietnam has done better than that.
Who knows? They might pour in money in the voting.
Totoo yun. Totoo yun. I don't think Vietnam poured money into the voting. Thailand poured money. Let's call it. You poured money here now. I mean, huwag na tayo maglokohan. They flew in fans in Mexico because nobody's cheering. But alam mo, there was an exit survey, so to speak. There's a good reception about Thailand. So I think Thailand is in a safe position. Let's go to another continent here. Africa. Africa is a very good continent. I think we have to give it to the African girls.
They outperformed Team Asia.
They outperformed Team Asia. They're second to Team Latin America. To be honest, they're really, really good. So I think for Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo is Egypt will make it.
Yes. And Egypt wore a sarong over a swimsuit. Like a really melon.
Bold move. And
move.
she has a message to deliver with all the
And I think she
the
did
skin
well.
condition that she has, vitiligo and all.
I think she wowed at the interview.
And I think in terms of character, we heard a lot of positive things about Egypt. Egypt is very kind, very nice to everybody. She's very friendly, di ba? Kahit minsan sinishade siya ng ibang girls from Latin America.
Yes.
Bitch. I dropped the B word, but yeah. Totoo, wala akong masabi kasi ang bait naman talaga niya eh. I mean, we should not be
I think
bad.
among the Yugen girls, she has the biggest chance of making
I mean,
the
Josh,
first time.
I know we're not close, but you've been doing consistently good
Well,
work with your
yes.
girls. Pakistan was your girl last year. I think this year it's gonna be Egypt. So other than that, I don't know about Somalia. Somalia performed not as expected.
I put Angola.
Angola.
I put Cameroon.
Cameroon is very good also. Oh my God. Zimbabwe definitely.
Zimbabwe and
Pare-
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
I mean, there's a lot of. We thought that there's a lot, not a lot of stronger South Africa, but during the preliminaries, we saw, oh my God, they performed. So, yeah.
Ibigay natin.
Nigeria, Zimbabwe,
Egypt, DR Congo, and Angola.
And Angola.
5. So those are the 5 girls. Meron pa tayo another 5 siguro for the wild card, no? Dahil para mabuo na yung 13 na tuloy, whatever. So now let's move to Europe, no? Because
Definitely Denmark.
Denmark, Finland, it's easy to call. Spain,
Spain did well.
France was gonna place. Great Britain. Do you think Great Britain? So those are the 5 girls from Europe. It's Finland, Denmark. Denmark has the highest chance actually to bring it to the top 5. Spain, Great Britain, and France. So those are.
To be honest, I think Spain's
So you will just tech break lang po sandali. We want to ensure the quality of our live stream tonight. So we want to give you that.
There.
Yeah.
There. Okay. So, as I was saying, you know the song La Negra Tiene Tumbao?
Yeah.
She kind of gives me that energy.
I know, that's
Yes.
si the
Celia.
Celia Cruz, la reina de la salsa. I love her. I have an album of her, Azúcar, diba?
Yeah. So, she's giving me that energy, she's giving me that vibe. She's giving me, I'm gonna bring spice at Miss Universe, and she did. Her national fashion presentation, when she opened that skirt and was like, okay, she's only wearing like a swimsuit underneath. It was like, okay, girl, we know you want to make it into the semis. We're gonna give you that.
I'm gonna give you that. So next, we've done with Europe, Asia, and Africa. Let's move to the Americas.
Why this too slim?
No, because the Americas are dedicated by the South and North America. South America, if that's a continent in itself, sige, hatiin natin.
Dedicate daw. North America and the Caribbean.
And South America. Sige, so for the North America and the Caribbean, this is masaya dahil we wanna give more island girls the privilege. So, of course, Dominican Republic is leading no, I refuse. Puerto Rico is leading the pack. Dominican Republic is second. I think, Mexico, the homegirl.
Mexico, the homegirl.
I'm gonna give Trinidad and Tobago. Because
I'm actually gonna give it to Turks and Caicos.
and also, you can give it to Turks and Caicos also, but I'm gonna give Trinidad and Tobago because, well, she won Miss Congeniality, meaning she's being seen, she's being heard, and for representation in terms of body types and, and her energy alone, I think Trinidad and Tobago gave it.
Could make it.
Could make it, yeah. I think another girl could be Turks and Caicos if you want to. Or what's
Because
other
Turks
island?
Because Turks and Caicos is like very visual. So,
Yeah. The Virgin Islands, no.
will you put USA in?
I don't think they like USA.
For me, I don't think USA without ownership of the organization being American.
Oh, I think it's a breather year for the United States. I don't know about Canada either. No, wala akong maisip na ibang...
No.
Even the other...
Those 5 for me, that's enough.
Yeah, the other Latina girls, that's Latina dominated already, I think. So you have to be black girls.
Yeah.
And speaking of Latina girls, the southern border,
Let's go to South America.
that's South America. That's easy. Venezuela, Brazil. Brazil will get it. Ooh, Peru, definitely. Tactical Mel is
Colombia.
done. You wanna give to Colombia?
Which
I'm
is
gonna give to
standard.
Chile and Colombia.
Chile, we already mentioned Chile
Yeah.
earlier. So Chile and then Colombia.
So that's 5 already. So you have...
I want to add one more.
Ooh.
Ecuador.
No, I think Ecuador could make the other 5 girls the token 5 placements.
But the thing is, Ecuador is Central America. So North America siya.
No, South America si Ecuador.
South America pa rin si Ecuador, right?
Oo, but the problem in Ecuador is she's an Osmel girl, but I don't think the rest of the people notices her. So she's weak. She might place in because of the powers that be, meaning Osmel might lobby her
Yeah.
and get
can see
into...
that.
Yeah. So, kung doon na tayo sa 5 wildcards that could complete the top 30, I think Argentina again might...
I'd give it to Ecuador.
And Ecuador, Latina dominated pa rin, even the wildcards. And other African girls, siguro, let's give it to
Somalia.
Somalia.
You didn't mention Somalia.
Somalia might be part of that wild card. Two other girls, wala maisip, maybe Laos or Malaysia? Lao or Malaysia?
I don't think.
Yeah, labo-labo na yan, five na yan eh. That could be, quote-unquote, for the filler girls. I think there
I'm
were,
even thinking Malta.
there was even conversation
The black
about
girl from
Uzbekistan. I mentioned that. You know, even if you didn't perform well,
Yeah.
but you're recognizable. Armenia with that crazy entrance.
Yeah.
Diba? Was that diva? That could be Armenia. So that's our proverbial top 30 and our proverbial top 5, diba?
I think with us having to struggle to name countries in our top 30 solidifies the fact that we probably don't need the top 30.
We don't need, the top 30 is a stretch. I think top 15 is more than enough.
Yeah, especially with the caliber of the girls' performance at the preliminaries this year.
Correct. At dahil dyan, Bev, sumabog ang iyong comment section.
Yes.
Sobrang dami, sis.
Yes.
Ang dami
Okay.
taga.
Unahin natin si
Sis.
The Beauty Critique. Sabi niya,
Go.
the new Miss Universe should be able to answer. Can she sell bottled water in the million and cosmetics? Can she get investments? That's the reason that they need a humble but a beauty who can speak. And that's tactical Mel for me.
Yeah, tactical Mel. Definitely that's tactical Mel. Lemuel, 235. What are chances on the newer first-time countries? Now, we'll mention this coming from your comment. UAE and Uzbekistan we mentioned. And Somalia. Belarus and Moldova are weak sash countries. I don't think they'll make it.
How about Opal possible top 5 ba based on their prelim performance?
She's sitting at number 6 or 7 for me right now. Number 7 at least.
top 10, safe.
Top 10, safe.
Yeah.
I know Chelsea will win tomorrow. We hope so. And we all want her to win. Knock on wood. Pero Diyos ko Lord talaga. Chelsea, please, magpahinga. Focus on your core. Do you. Ikaw mismo. Pakinggan mo sarili mo. Because you love yourself, we love you. Kami bahala dito sa Manila. Ikaw bahala sa Mexico dyan. Sabi ni Kitty Moreche, Sir Justin, since malapit ang puso mo sa Indonesians, mauna ba sila sa Thailand to be next powerful si Asia far from being true?
All I know is that Indonesia is richer than the Philippines by far. And that nandun ngayon si Heart Evangelista with Bon World. Heart has an invitation to join the Elisa World 1001 seasons. But she chose the job at Indonesia because she is being paid there.
Yeah.
So imagine that for several days of endorsement. It means that Indonesians, until now, more than the Philippines, kayang magpapon ng pera when it comes.
Yeah, and they are looking for the Philippines for inspiration and energy and power. So no, they're not a powerhouse. Will they be a powerhouse? They're doing it, but they haven't did it. So Indonesia, long way to go. But if you refocus your energy, I think there are some Indonesian girls na reserved, no, from their stretch, like Vina, for instance. Hindi pa rin ako sumusuko kay Fiza Khan. Marami
the
pa.
runners-up during the Poppy era.
In the Poppy era, I think some of the grand girls, Sophia Rogan could be a future Miss Universe Indonesia. Aura Karisma could be. There are still room for Indonesia to improve. But where is Indonesia? Indonesia is like the Philippines in 2010. Nandoon sila. So I'm gonna give it to that.
Hindi. Philippines in
1999.
2000...
8.
2000 to 2009.
Dark Ages, but they're placing. Well,
Miss
anyway.
Universe, not this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they might clap.
Yeah.
Possible ba na ipanalo nila ang inclusive girls this time? You know, the people in power are not DEI. They are minorities who took charge. So, they're gonna empower their own, okay? Not...
Sabi ni Ben Hernandez, if BBB makes place at Miss Universe, regardless of anong placement, if top 30 or top 12, then that will be New Zealand's first placement in 32 years.
Wow,
So,
thank you for the insight.
yes.
Diba ang ganda? 1992, could you imagine that? Diba? I mean, I think BBB will break the drought. Malakas ang Denmark and Finland sa mga Europeans. They are top 2 in the continent.
Ano to, di ko mag-gets itong sinabi ni Clean Game about too late, napakain na lang ng Doritos si Adam.
Because of the performance of Chelsea, I don't think naman it's too late. Like we said, iba ang mata nila dun, ibang mata dito. Who knows? They might have appreciated the blue gown or the walk or whatever than anything else. But there's a strong chance she'll be in the top 30 tomorrow. Galingan na lang nila doon. Oh. Angat ba si Thailand kay Chelsea? Actually, they're on the same footing. In Pageant, another predominant Thai-dominated pageant page, a lot of disappointments came from the Thais actually about the lackluster performance because they all agree, as we agree, that Antonia is still better than Opal. So I don't think there's any...
Ashton says, huwag sana tayo maging overly sensitive kung may negative comments of preliminary performance ni Philippines. Kasi kita naman din. We know she can be fierce, pero instead na Tiger, pusa ang nakita natin.
Well, what we're being constructive. We're giving you... Hindi kami dito bumabanat na para lang basagin yung ano... We're giving you the energy. We're saying Naomi Campbell is the way to go. Alam nila Manny na Naomi Campbell is the way to go, and I'm sure they have everything in their bag to give that Naomi tomorrow. Yeah. So Naomi, we hope
back the Naomi levels.
Bring back the Naomi
levels.
Bring it back.
Chelsea.
Bring it back. Sino ba? Very hard to say on Opal. Thank you, Merlita Tiangco. We're trying to be fair. Beauty critique, the bevy of women in the top 10. I think this is his top 10, no?
Yeah,
If he or her, I'm sorry, the beauty critic, but para sa kanya, top 10 are Chile, Thailand, Denmark, Peru, Mexico, Philippines, Egypt, New Zealand, Venezuela, and dark horses are Bonaire, Zimbabwe, and Paraguay. Good choices.
You mentioned Bonaire, I'm gonna go check Bonaire.
Bonaire. Pero alam mo naman yung hindi forgiving ang Miss Universe in new countries. Pero sana, no? I mean, Bonaire has been trying to get in for quite a while. Steve says, may sabotage sa Emmy Telemundo kasi may hawak. I don't think so. I don't want to make such harsh pronouncement, accusations muna as of now. Daniel Yuson said, Sir Jess and Sir Mark, possible kaya na kaya nag-hold back sa pagiging fierce ng ilang girls because gusto raw ni Anne. It's a humble queen. You know?
Okay. Let me answer that. Kasi there is a difference between a humble queen versus not delivering on stage.
Oo, that's not an excuse,
That's
That's not an excuse.
To hold back and not deliver.
Correct. It doesn't mean that when you're strong, you're not humble.
Yeah.
Humility, I think, is something that they judge on a daily basis. Sinabi nila yan. From the moment you come in, you're also judged by the chaperones. And it's an open secret, no? So, if maldita ka sa kasama mo, tinatapalan mo na mukhang ganyan pagka kasama mo sa tabi mo, nag-live, gano'n na lang kayo sa hallway, epal-epal ka pa, that also rubs into them. So, yun, it's part of the process. So, when you say humility is being judged, I think nasabi ni Kunan yun because na-surprise siya that there are some girls na talaga ang bait-bait pagkausap in even behind the camera. Ako yung bibigay ko kay Chelsea yung humility comment and I would like to assume it's us. I would like to assume it's Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to assume it's Peru because of the attitude that they have in spite of them being called and favored.
Roommates,
front runners at being fan favorites. Yan.
Yari NCDB says, VVV possibly could reach the top 12. Her credentials is top-notch. Interview-wise, no worries. Kailangan lang niya mag-perform at focus sa styling para makasabay sa mga Latinas to reach the top.
Totoo. Wala namang question doon. Gusto ko si VVV and Chelsea to be there far. Sabi ni Nick Shi, maganda damit ni Peru. Sabi ng mga host, stunning, which is true. We agree.
National costume pa lang. It's like everything in the national costume makes you center.
She's an Incan goddess, diba? Yes. Yun ang yung costume eh. Klisa, masyado siya mabait. I think pertaining to Chelsea, like a princess, that's what she looks like in EG. It could be a strategy.
Yeah.
Sana di siya nag-ball down.
But is it the right strategy? Is it the right strategy?
Dahil hindi lumakad, to me, it's a good strategy. Pero if lumakad, I don't think that's a right strategy. Mixie again said na dahil ando si Michael Cinco, I don't think it's that shallow of a reason for her to be taken out. Yan. The beauty critic again comes back. My hunch, Thailand will win. She is a victor by heart to JPN's state of economy. The Thai government is a renaissance dream. Policies, leadership, and winning crown is a cherry. But it's a Latina-dominated executive committee. Don't forget that, the beauty critic.
Also, 12 judges, 6 of them are from Latin America, 2 of them have Latin roots. So 8 out of 12 it might sway towards the last.
Ako, siguro, farthest that Opal can go is a repeat of Antonia's runner-up. Yan. Romel Lakap Maniago, good evening. Miss Universe Philippines, Jesus. She's not that bad at all. I think masunuring bata siya and she listened to leaders. She needs to find her core. And her core also involves the people that discovered her, believed in her, allowed her to be her, and invested in her. So, dun siya maniwala sa pinaka-importanting laban ng buhay niya. This is Chelsea Manaso's most important battle in her life, her career, and defining moment. Whatever happens, she may lose the crown, but if she fought hard and gave an exceptional performance, alam mo, huwag tayong lumayo. Michelle D did not win. But you know, Michelle is such an impeccable queen that a lot of us really wants her to see and be. That is a winning attitude in itself. Diba?
Okay, there's this comment from Mitzi. Sabi niya, maganda daw ang swimsuit niya, depende daw sa angle ng video. Kasi may ibang video daw sa front na maganda. So,
Yeah.
it will all depend on where the judges are positioned.
Correct.
So,
Ben Hernandez, sabi niya, Chelsea's curly hair was nice, but could have been longer para mas pak na pak. Yeah, I just said that too. I agree with you, Ben. Kulang sa volume, maiksi masyado. For swimsuit, you want more movement, more hampas, and more energy, and that's how the hair could have helped. Christine Eden.
Art Lawrence says, sorry.
Sabi ni Christine, keep kasi sa hindrance, sana tinanggal na lang ni Chelsea para makapagtampi sa walk siya. That's part of the realization. I think she understood that after. So, sana.
Art Lawrence says, Sunday morning back in the University of Pilipinas. Yes.
Monday morning?
Sunday.
Bukas?
I think it's around, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 10 a.m. Manila time.
Wow! Okay, amazing. So, thank you for, kasi akala ko, the beauty critic said, Miss Chelsea Manalo is an impressive Filipina worthy with the crown. She deserves a love, respect, goodwill, prayers of her kababayans of the Philippines is a sentiment. You're Filipino pala. But you know what? Thank you so much to all foreign fans and who's giving. Hindi naman kami ganun ka-passionate ni Jess. Minsan may pagkukulang rin kami with the support of the Filipina girls. But you know, we know a good queen when we see one. So thank you so much for supporting her. She needs that. She needs that love. At sa atin mismo manggaling yun.
And Ben Hernandez says, 9 a.m. Manila time. Kasi 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yung...
Di ba sila, daylight savings sila ngayon? It could be 8 a.m. Manila time? Ay, mas advanced. It's 10 a.m. Manila time.
Kaya nga 9 or 10 mag-start.
Correct ka doon. Alfred Alvarez, my fave Indian is in the house. I love Miss Sobhi. Who? Are you referring to me? Thank you so much. I love you too. Ganyan. Loyal Fanita and Shopee. Nice po namin yung internet. Sorry, nasa Pinas tayo.
And Yari NCDB says India and Cambodia.
We mentioned that. Martin Lorenzo, ang taas ng viewership tonight. Congrats, Sashes and Mr. Mark.
Thank you.
Salamat, naniniwala po kayo sa amin.
I think the beauty here kung bakit maraming nanonood ngayon, it's because it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. We do not agree most of the time, but we spell it out.
When we agree.
We agree. When we don't, we hear each other out. Correct. Tama yan.
At saka when we agree, nananalo yung inaagrihan natin.
Totoo, hindi pa po kami last year medyo nag-fail
Kasi
ako. Pero Puerto Rico was in top 5. Your university was?
Thailand.
Oh, but close, diba?
Pero during that conversation, we said na Crown na Latina or Thai. And sila yung nag-top.
The Crown de Latina. Ako, but the preference.
What if ngayon, this year, top 5 all Latina?
Oo nga, yun yung sinabi natin. Yun ang top 5 natin, all Latina.
Would you think that that will help the image of Miss Universe? Yan. Mahirap na tanong, di ba?
Mahirap na tanong, pero more than the image of the organization, I think it would push Kun An to a more difficult decision. Kung anong decision yun, it's up to her. But I think she would realize that when she sold that part to Raul, you know who you're playing with. And I think...
So Kun An, eto lang yan. Dalhin mo sa Asia ang Miss Universe so you can have your pick of the judges.
This is what we're gonna say. Yeah.
Right now it's really swaying towards the Latinos
Correct.
because of the judges.
For Miss Universe 2025, what you have to do, crown a very, very good Thai girl. Ako, Miriam Sompromas, pabalikin mo. Joke lang.
But she doesn't want.
She doesn't want, or maybe crown Susana Renault again. Or
Vina Pravinar.
No. Uy, there's a rumor Vina Pravinar daw would fly to Canada. Doon siya
Ay, okay. Then Canada it is.
Canada it is, diba? Yeah, ang hanging question ni Jason, what if bumalik si Jassy Tutor, magiging bias na po kami ni Jason Capuchino, magiging pro Thailand po kami that year. I'm so sorry po talaga. Maliban na lang kung may isang Filipina that could spoil the fun. Siyempre, pagiging Filipino namin, or being Filipino would be paramount. But yeah, there's this very exciting era if we realize our mistakes this year because there's a lot. Yari NC, DB said Great Britain, she's part of our number 4 in Europe. Continental.
Sabi ni Daniel Yusuf, si Sir Mark, yung Senator Millie of the First Source Santiago ng pageantry, mataka, prangka, faces snatch ka.
Sorry kasi I don't have a platform of my own, so I take chance on this one. I don't have monetization to lose. I don't have, fan base to lose. I don't believe I have fans, but if you appreciate, maraming salamat po. So ito pampataba ng diskusyon kasi I don't think there are certain things that a lot of people are not saying because of their sensitivities or tie-ins, but we really want to say this as it is. We want to help, and part of helping is pointing out what's wrong and what's good and whatever that could improve everything. So Clean Game said she would...
Among the Filipinas, who has the best chances?
BBB.
Binangitan namin. Kasi background, resume pa lang, plakado na. Then you have a very strong visuals with her height, with her face. And then when it comes to the communications part, she really speaks well.
Correct.
And if she continues strong performances up until the finals, we might see her at the top 5.
Alam mo, ang kagandahan nitong ganap na to, uy, may nag-donate size loyal fan, 99. Thank you. So, ang ganap dito is, if I'm gonna rank all the Filipinas, VBB is on top because of the hindi nagpa-flatline yung performance. Chelsea is a close call because there are times she's so good, and then mid, and it's so good. So sana manatili.
I think somebody mentioned something about consistency in the styling. I did not look at her daily wardrobe that
Correct.
much, but when I see photos of her circulating on the internet, she looks decent naman.
Totoo naman,
So,
totoo.
I don't know. Maybe we're just too nitpicky, maybe.
Hindi, ba't tumaas na ang standard ng Pilipino about the Miss Philippines? Says, ako, I wasn't too violent about Chelsea's wardrobe because mabait. So maganda yung bata eh. Like, she's really good. She gave us few favorite pieces that I love. The Anthony Ramirez red dress was like saving deal. I loved it na. The gold gown and the crown unveiling. I like it too.
The dress at the reception.
Correct. The very Gloria Diaz. I love that. So, it's enough. It's not everyday Christmas for everybody for us to celebrate, no? Hindi araw-araw Pasko para sa mga Pilipino. And that's nice. I think third close call would probably be Great Britain. I think there are certain events na nandun siya, and I've heard there's a very, very good reception about her close doors interview. So, she might just deliver us that.
Sabi ni Ashnan, if this is like Miss Universe 2022, laglag si Peach.
No.
Pero nanalo si US na happy, baka this year it might be the...
No, it's not. It's not.
Let's make it both na makapasok.
Both of them will be in. What else did they say? Ina de Jesus Chelsea is short. May shorter girl pa. Pero I don't think height is an issue this time.
Yeah.
Because hindi naman sila magkalayo ni Tati Calmel ng height. Sabi
I
ni...
think Tati is like 5'8", 5'9".
And Chelsea's registered at 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7".
Do you think sumisikip lalo ang top 30 after prelims? Sabi ni Yari, maluwang! maluwang. It's a playground.
Yes.
Top 10, top 12 yung masikip.
Oo.
Ina de Jesus said India. Yeah, correct. I think this was the time when we were like thinking about our continental placements. Kiisa said Samoa. Could be interesting selection also. Sabi ni Yari, I think halos lahat ng mga Latina girls pasok na sa first cut.
Huwag naman lahat ng top 30 Latina, di ba?
Hindi naman siguro 30 yun.
Yun.
Oo. Clean game si Ashden. Uy, nag-thank you ka kay Ashden. Baka may mabuong relasyon sa inyo, Charos.
Magkaroon ng
Uy, gusto namin sa Sashes&Scripts niya. Sabi ni Yari, possible na ipanalo nila, wait lang.
Inclusive girl this edition. Yes. Kasi kung si Peru yun, she's beyond the original na mga age limits.
Pero hindi siya DEI doon ha. Ano siya talaga doon? Exceptional siya.
Yeah.
Smrut, I hope I could
Okay,
mention
that's
your
your-
name,
that-
your name properly. Smrut Tiranjan, Sarangi, India. Yeah.
Hindi.
Hindi. Malita Tiangco, Kun and was referring to Opal as the humble queen, not Chelsea. Possibly.
It can-
But, humility is for everybody who did well.
It can apply to anyone.
Paul Fernandez, New Zealand, yeah. Bill Ramon's channel says, if it could not be Philippines this year, I'd like it to be Peru. Hindi ka nag-iisa doon. There's a lot of people who are saying the same thing. Paul Fernandez, for Filipinas, will all they'll make it to top 30? No.
We're hoping so.
We're hoping so, but I think at least 3 out of 4 may place. Art Laurent, live ba sa Kapamilya channel ng Miss Universe? Last year, it wasn't. Nanaga ba?
It is.
Maybe. Yeah, correct.
Ano?
Tuesday. Yeah. Ricky Delphine said, Puerto Rico, Thailand, or Venezuela, all those 3 girls will make it. Smiling Computer said, I want Mexico to win just to throw an apple of discord among Latin fans, but seriously, Chelsea can win this. Heard from Adam's live earlier that she's aware of our grievances, constructive criticism. That's why we are saying we don't hate Chelsea, we want her to be well, and we want her to really look into herself. I think the fact, kung sinasabi mo, Smiling Computer, that she already saw this is a very, very positive indication.
I like yung sinabi ni comment dito ni K-pop Lista, Cora Bliaut for MUTH 2025. Yes. Cora was the Miss Fire in
Miss
last
Earth.
year's competition.
Well spoken, no? Very well spoken.
And she's very young. She was only like 19 when she won, I think.
So I expect that's another bloodbath in Miss Universe Thailand next year. Dragon Ball Z.
Loyal fan, thank you very much for the generosity.
Sana may mag-sponsor sa amin. We wanna go to Thailand and watch it live.
Oo nga, no.
Yeah. Manifesting. May sponsor sa amin na kahit flight lang, ganyan. Sabi ni Dragon Ball Z, one time po ang coronation bukas sa Miss Universe. It could be 9 or 10 a.m. Manila. Just watch it out because hindi kami sure because of the daylight saving time. Loyal fan 1999. Grabe ang feeling ko after Miss Universe 2018 was a fire and lit under the Latin American. Yes, correct. Personally, nag-agree na.
Especially that, up until now, no Miss Universe before or after Catriona can match the way that she competed at Miss Universe. The moment she joined Binibining Pilipinas, everybody
It's over.
She's going to be the next Miss Universe.
Alam mo, MV Nuestra Belleza is one of the, at that time, was the top Venezuelan pageant, La Nueva Era. Catriona filed. There's a story, RV Dizon, the country manager for Converse, which is also a good pageant fan. And I was working back in the day in 2018. I got to the office, bakla ka. Sabi niya, ano? Problema mo? Sabi niya, look at your Instagram. And so, Catriona. Ooh. And then the next comment also was La Nueva Era posting about it. I know this is over. This is over. Venezuela never looks at Filipinas that way. Never the same again after that. So, prepare for another storm. I think a storm like Kathleen Paton could...
I agree. Paramdam ka na kasi Kathleen.
Kathleen, come back here. Stop being it. You are in Australia. Catriona was in Australia. Come back home. Be friends with your friends here. We're your friends. You are what we're waiting. Ricky Delphine said, Puerto Rico, we love Puerto Rico, Ricky.
We love Puerto Rico.
Caller MC, sa Minister sa closer interview, they say that Chelsea Manalo is in top 2. What's the very closer interview to get the crown?
That, okay, let me, hindi sa gusto kong basagin yung script natin, okay? Let me be, okay, let me warn you that anything that you see on social media, especially on pageant groups, that these are the ranking of the interviews, Miss Universe will never reveal the scores of the girls while they're in the pageant. even after the pageant, nung kang nagkaroon ng leak ang Miss Universe when it comes to the scores of these girls. Because
No.
sometimes these judges, when they select their top 30, there is a possibility that they're going to select who are their top 30 based on performance
Correct.
and not really by point system.
Exactly.
We have to remember that Miss Universe this year is not like the Miss Universe that we grew up in the 1980s and the
No,
1990s, that
sure.
there is a flash scores on the screen on how did they
Who did
perform
well
in the,
and how will they well, yeah.
in the competition this time around. Miss Universe is doing is doing a different thing by having a scored national costume, scored evening gown, scored interview, scored swimsuit competition. So we do not know if how the judging criteria has vastly affected the way that they score or the way that they select the top 30.
But what we do believe, however, are the people that we know that are in Mexico right now and the perception there, because what's happening on ground versus what we see online are not the same.
Yes.
Time and again, this has been proven. We've had seen girls sa talagang akala natin pasok and we were surprised. Celeste was one of those girls that, happened to break her hearts in the process.
And also during the pandemic, when Andrea Meza surprised us that by winning
Miss Universe, nobody was looking at her. We're looking at Peru that year.
Yeah. A lot of my friends who were watching the Miss Universe pageant was saying that Andrea was glowing that night.
Correct.
So there are things that we don't necessarily
Diba?
see.
We're expecting a Pawinso the Druin sweep at 2019.
Yeah.
Look where Josie Bini came out of nowhere. She was good at the preliminary evening gown, but she swooped into the finals night. Like no one's there. Like a Queen of Wakanda into Come the Crown. And there are things like that happens. Just I think the beauty of Miss Universe still, no? That's the process that we are really excited about. And so coming from that, let's go back to the sentiments online. Wilbert Herrera, again, the one who asked question earlier, we answered, also has his own top picks. That's Venezuela, Colombia, Denmark, Peru, Serbia, USA, Puerto Rico, Philippines, Finland, Portugal, Thailand, India, Australia, Mexico, and Pakistan. Those are good choices.
Good choice. Okay, Paul Fernandez says, will an inclusion candidate win? Your thoughts, Paul?
Could be.
Win, it's going to be an uphill climb because ultimately, with the set of judges this year, you're going to have to battle it out in the Latin-centric perception of what's beautiful.
Correct.
So, and even the judges, even the Filipino judge, Michael Cinco, he is exposed with so much international, international standards of beauty that he might be swayed towards the more model-esque type of beauty. So we cannot say for sure that an inclusion candidate.
Nova Stevens
will
is
have-
sitting judge. Nova could play an influential role because of
the
for women of
Africans.
color, queens. So yeah, I agree. It could be inclusive. Pero ang aking pananaw, what I'm thinking right now is that the people in the organization are not DEI people. They're not the diversity, equity, and inclusivity people. What we're saying DEI people. Baka people would argue, what are you saying? They are Thai and Mexicans. No, what we mean is that they don't put premium in that because they want, this is more a nationalistic centric. These are people with vested interests. So they want to put that first priority over anything else. So, of course, the Latino executive committee, so Osmel and Raul would go for Puerto Rico, the Venezuelas, and the Peru.
And also, let's try to be realistic here. Miss Universe nowadays, if you haven't noticed, has a skincare line, has a cosmetics line, has a bottled water line. So you need someone who is able to be a walking commercial for these.
You know what?
And you need a commercial beauty.
Viability. So I hate to say this, but I think Miss Grand International kind of set a precedent for what a modern pageant is about. And right now, I see that Miss Universe is following on that rather than setting that standard. I'll discuss that later on towards the closing segment because it was a mixed reaction for us. Why? MGI is pulling strings as to why Miss Universe is becoming like this, and we will have to understand that later on. But for now, let's finish all the Miss Universe discussions first. And I think
We can skip some comments.
Comments
because
later.
ang haba ng itong,
Totoo. But there are some... Sige, patapusin natin hanggang makunti na lang naman eh. Sabi niya, I have the feeling that Dominican Republic may win. I don't think so, but I believe she might be there in the finals or chances weakening at Tokuyo, as what Lawrence has mentioned. Kurt Isaac said, what do you think of Philippine representative always reserving their best looks for finals? Hate that strategy personally. You mentioned that, the best gowns in prelims. Bring it on. Clean game. Among the Filipinas was the best chances against VVV. Feeling ko Europe makakuha ng crown dyan. Try naman nila Europe. Hindi sila ganun mag-isip, Lawrence. It's about pulling the people, the money,
back into the organization by crowning someone who's very
influential.
Viable.
Correct. Wilbert Herrera, try naman nila New Zealand.
Yes.
Sana. Maron Akupan, if Gravides can't win Miss World, will she represent us in the universe? I have a better pageant in mind for her, and that's not Miss Universe. And both, I think we all do agree. And so, that closes in the discussion. I think it's gonna be Latina, Mars. So, yun.
Yes.
So,
I
yun.
agree. I think when I posted about that,
But I have,
I think it's going to be very difficult to buck the trend against the Latinas because the energy talaga is on the Latinas. Looking at the preliminary competition, the Latinas brought their A game as a team, as a couple of continents.
correct.
And the only way that an Asian or a European or African would win is if they deliver their best at the
Correct.
finals.
Correct.
That's the only way, that's the only guaranteed way that you can find a candidate that can topple all of these strong Latina contenders here. We might see an all Latina top 5.
Correct.
It's possible. It is also possible that we might have 4 Latinas, 1 Asian, or 4 Latinas, 1 European, one African. Anything is still possible, but right now, based on the performances, we have to give it to those who performed in. Unfortunately, for a lot of continents, it's actually the Latinas and the Africans who really gave us a show during the preliminary competition.
Yes.
Now,
And so going back to what I was mentioning earlier, there was a time in Miss Universe timeline towards the end of the Sugar presidency that I think yung wokeism in the United States was brought into pageant. From being a platform for women to realize their dreams and executing what a beautiful, intelligent, and powerful woman is about, ginawa natin silang vision of being a superwoman. Meaning, tumating sa point that you're expecting them to speak on social issues that they cannot change or act on certain causes that they cannot fully adhere to. They're not superwomen. They're not superheroes. They're not politicians. They're not going to change the world. It's ideal, it's beautiful to think that they're going to change the world, but they not and they cannot. And so I think napagod yung mga girls who's competing, napagod ang organization, and more so napagod tayong mga fans. And so when we're looking back to the core of pageantry, we're looking at the gloss, glamour, and the inspiration factor of what makes a good beauty competition is about. Towards the end of the dispute between Nawat and the Filipinos, I think Miss Grand International learned that theatrics, drama, and all this buffoonery is not everything. Nakikita nyo ba ngayon that Miss Universe doesn't have to have a vital competition? They have a competition with Miss World, but hindi nila kailangang magkipagpaguran for them to ruin themselves. All they have to do is to get personal interest to ruin itself from the core. And the same sense that Grand International doesn't have to fight and spew hate to uplift itself, and it lifted itself this year. Yun ang masakit na katotohanan. We hated the other pageant, but they now have a mirrored representation of the gloss and glamour, and yung saya lang that we wanna sit down and enjoy pageantry for what it is. Miss Grand gave us that. It's very calm. And now they have the body, brain, beauty, and business. The business factor, what Jason was saying, kaya ako pumunta dito, is because yun na rin yung formula yung nahanap na Miss Universe. Imagine MGA setting that standard and Universe following suit without them even admitting. I think Kun An has the biggest play in this thing. So sana ma-realize nila where the thing is coming on. And I think what's going to happen tomorrow would dictate the future of this pageant moving forward.
Like I said earlier, when we had our live stream last week, binanggit ko na ultimately this Miss Universe edition is going to be is going to set the tone, is going to set the direction of the organization and the pageant in the next 5-10 years.
Correct.
So this is going to be a very important na important na year. And if it's going to be back towards the visuals on the pageant na the scene, then wala tayong magagawa. We have to adjust accordingly. Yun lang.
Correct. Or as the fans, as the power to deliver our support. Diba yung tayo naman may choice what we watch, tayo din na may choice to follow the queens we want and how we see things. So let's also reclaim that power in the same way that they're getting the power back to the pageantry. So I think Miss Universe is in that position also. Kailangan tayong they need to get a queen that would resonate that energy and power tomorrow. So whether it's Thailand, Peru, the heavy favorites, or consequential girls na bigla na lang mag-shine such as VVV, New Zealand, or say the likes of Denmark might spoil the crown. Yun. So it could be it. So we agree about the fairness. Sana makita natin bukas yun. Sana politics will not really come into play. And we want a good pageant for everybody. Ay, nagtagal na natin. Ang dami na nating sinabi. But yeah, that's our thoughts.
Okay. So, I want to end this with a positive. Okay. And I want us to feel that, that we might not be able to get the crown this year, but at least the best thing that we can do is still support our girl. I think that ultimately, it's not about whether we win, lose, or draw in the competition. Nakita natin kay Angelica na hindi pumasok sa top 20, masakit siya. But looking back at her journey,
Pero in-expect niya yun ata.
Hindi natin masisisi si girl, hindi natin masisisi ang court, hindi natin masisisi yung wala tayong masisisi except hindi lang talaga siguro siya yung gusto ng mga judges during the Miss International.
Ayoko rin si Stephen.
So, I think ultimately kapag alam mo inilaban tayo ng bonggang-bongga ng mga representatives natin at an international competition, you will not feel like you were underhanded in the experience.
Correct.
So, even if it did not result on a placement or a crown with Angelica, I still feel that Angelica deserves the respect, the love that Filipinos can afford to our own queen.
Totoo yun. Michelle D, bigyan natin sa kanila yun.
Exactly.
Ganon level lang.
So ultimately, manalo tayo, hindi, as long as we know we are proud of our girls for what they did in the competition, then I think there is no scenario that it is a loss for us.
Correct.
Kasi the important thing is
They fought?
We showed them that eto kami. Kaya namin ilaban, and kahit na hindi kami manalo, inilaban namin, and people will notice, and that you notice our girls, and that even after nung laban ni Angelica, when I was looking at her stories, ganyan, the girls and the bond that she had with the girls after the competition, they stayed longer pa nga sa Japan. They bonded. They formed a sisterhood bond na kahit na hindi ka manalo, nandun pa din yung feeling mo na ang panalo ko, ang Corona Cup are the girls and the relationships that I have established.
Pero don't get us wrong, baka isipin yun sinasabi namin, hindi mo nanalo sa Chelsea bukas at pinipresume namin yun. Hindi. But what we're trying to say that, the bottom line is sometimes being a winner is not the wear, but it's the attitude you have. So, doon na natin iwan.
And also, let's remember this scenario. When Miss Austria in 1970, I think was it 1977?
Si Eva
Cavalli,
which is a sitting judge tomorrow.
She did not win Miss World, she did not win Miss Universe. She was first runner-up at Miss Universe, and then she snagged Roberto Cavalli as her husband.
Diba?
And
Imagine
they
mo.
founded the Roberto Cavalli
Brand.
fashion house in Milan, and she's still a winner even if she didn't win the crown.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, for example, she was first
Helena-
runner-up at Miss
Helena Christensen was a clapper at Miss World. And
No,
she
at
became
Miss Universe.
Sorry, 86.
86,
Miss Universe. Halle Berry was a runner-up in Miss World.
First runner-up?
No,
Or
semifinals.
Semifinalist.
Semifinals siya.
First runner-up siya sa Miss USA. So,
Yeah. So yun.
sometimes, again, tulad ng sinabi ni Catriona, you're not denied this, you're just being ready. So there.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, guys, for joining us in our live stream this evening. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for being with us for this long
Alam nyo,
live stream.
I also want to thank you, our viewers. Your comments, this is, I think, one of the most fruitful discussion
Yes.
we have, not only between the two of us, but with you. Kasama namin kayo dito. Napakatatalino po ng mga viewers natin. Gusto ko yung insights nyo, yung pagmamahal nyo sa pageant, that you are also trying to read what you want and express your thoughts clearly and fruitfully, dahil ganun kayo mga pageant fans. Let's stay that way, keep that quality, at yun talaga yung gusto namin maging. We want that healthy discussion among us. Diba? Ang sarap-sarap nun pakinggan. Thank you so much.
And announce ko na rin na who knows, maybe in the future, after ng mga pageant season, we might have some live stream together discussing marketing, fashion, and
Correct. Baka ganun, just to diversify.
Some topics that we both are passionate about.
Or baka may mga personality na makasama namin at umupo at we have a discussion with them. Ganyan. So, may isang tanong si Pageant Fan NYC, any post-pageant live? Feeling ko, magkakaroon ka bukas.
Gusto mo ba?
Nasa church ako bukas after, my church is in the afternoon, so I might join in digitally or whatever, but let's see.
Let's see, kasi my plan is to do it mga evening. Kasi we need to digest whatever the
Oo, at
responses
saka
will
ang daming magla-live na right after, sigurado. Yung mga pina-follow nyo rin na content creator will do that. Pangahin natin sila. Ayaw namin kayong lunurin. Oo, naman.
And besides that, I think ako din, I need to immerse on the consequences of who they pick as Miss Universe tomorrow. So, yon. We are going definitely to update you later. But right now, magdi-dinner muna kami.
Oo, it's 8. Kayo rin po, please, sus ko po. We have 100, at that speak, we almost had 180 watch viewers. Ang taas po nun, salamat. So,
And besides, I'm sure yung mga fans ni Heart, hinihintay yung kanyang Heart World na episode.
Oo, mga Heart World na sila. Correct. Oo.
So, yun.
So, salamat po.
Salamat po. Thank you very much for your support to our live stream this evening. Abangan nyo kung anong oras yung live stream ko tomorrow. I might invite na lang Mark to join digitally with sa live stream. And I have something in plan this coming week na susurpresahin ko kayo. Okay? I will surprise you, and it's not pageant related.
Wow.
Okay?
I wonder what could it be.
Abangan niya yan. So, yun lang po muna ang pwede mo masabi.
Salamat.
We're really grateful for this opportunity to talk.
Yes. Again, if you want to support our queens, go to the Miss Universe app. Vote. You have until tomorrow to vote.
Tomorrow na lang ba?
Oh, support.
Hanggang tonight na.
In Manila time? O hanggang ngayon na lang pala?
Hanggang ngayon na lang. Okay, hanggang ngayon na lang. So,
Vote. Help them secure their spot at the top 30. So yan. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Jessa, for having me here.
See you again soon.
See you again
Before we
soon.
leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay. Ano na tayo? Oh my gosh.